Welcome to the webinar, Voxaid, the essential add-on to Dragon Professional. This webinar is hosted by the Network of Assistive Technologists on this Friday, the 20th of August, 2021. We are joined today by Michael Shepard, author, software developer, and assistive technology trainer. With a career in technology spanning 30 years, Michael's roles have included delivering and creating IT and AT solutions for academia and professionals, opening computer centers in Zimbabwe and Guyana, as well as system analysis and IT support. Over the past 15 years, his teaching skills and wealth of tech experience have seen his career move towards providing assistive technology training to university students with learning disabilities such as dyslexia and dyspraxia. His main objective is to provide the best AT solutions to as many students, giving them the tools to empower themselves. His experience as an AT tutor, combined with his technology background, has positioned Michael as a leading authority on the benefits of assistive tech and showing how individuals can get the most out of it, whether in the workplace or whilst studying. Michael is the author of Dragon Professional, A Step Further, which is a book on how to develop your own voice commands for Dragon Professional, and he's the founder of Voxaid, the Dragon Professional add-on. So welcome, Michael, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Doug. Thank you for having me.
No problems. And with that said, I do want to hand over the screen sharing to you right now, Michael, and let you begin today's presentation.
Okay, great. Fantastic. So hopefully everyone can see my desktop at the moment. I'm just opening up. Yep.
That is showing through for you, Michael.
So excellent. Fantastic. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Doug, for that introduction. And also thank you for inviting me to be here with you today and really the opportunity to share with you a bit about myself, my passion for voice recognition, and how that has really all led up to today. So just to introduce myself again, although Doug, you've done a fantastic job there. My name is Michael Shepard, and yes, I have been involved in training predominantly university students, assistive technology for the best part of 15 years now. So the training that I deliver revolves around enabling individuals to get the most out of their assistive technology solutions. So that's whether that's various mind mapping, note-taking applications, text-to-speech or speech-to-text software or other solutions. And the training is very much geared towards helping them to use these solutions to overcome any barriers that they may face, within their work or their studying environments. So before we actually get started, let me just give you a brief outline of today's presentation. Firstly, I'll touch on the subject of voice recognition and the options that are available out there, including Dragon Professional. Then we'll have a look at Voxaid, which is an add-on for Dragon Professional. You'll see how with Voxaid installed that it dramatically enhances your voice recognition options and increases your productivity as well. We'll also look at who can benefit from Voxaid. And then I will show you how Voxaid can assist you when working with various software applications. And in the last section, I'll be showing you how to create your own bespoke Dragon voice command, which will give you an insight as to what you can get out of the book. Plus, I'll provide details on how you can get your hands on a copy of the PDF version with a special discount for N.O.A.T members with us today. Now, from time to time, I will ask questions, and it would be great if you could either answer the poll or place an answer in the chat. That would be really appreciated. So let's get started. So when we think of voice recognition, what comes to mind? Cortana, Google Assistant. There is no doubt that over the last few years, the awareness and use of voice recognition has grown immensely. Whether that's due to the increase in use of devices such as Alexa or Siri, the ability to search on Google for information from our smartphones, or even to talk to smart TVs to change the channel. The great thing about voice recognition is that more and more people are becoming aware of the advantages that it brings in terms of productivity and how we can do so much more with our computers by voice, other than asking Alexa, is it going to rain today? And that's especially for us here in the UK anyway. In fact, we now see that software corporations have also recognized this by including voice recognition and the ability to dictate into their software. Most recently, the likes of Microsoft Office 365 now provides dictation in Word, PowerPoint, and Outlook. We have voice control on the Mac for the Mac users, and Google Chrome have also incorporated this feature within Google Docs. And of course, we have Dragon Professional, which is now on its 15th edition and is very much recognized as one of, if not the leading voice recognition or speech-to-text software applications available. So at this point, I would just like to do a quick poll. How many of you have used or are using Dragon Professional regularly?
So I see the results are coming in here, Michael.
Excellent.
And so far, it's pretty clear that 67% of the people with us today here are Dragon users, and then we've got 64 and 36% are no. So just give it another moment or so here for you in case there's any people who are wanting to add their vote in there. It looks like we're pretty steady at 64 and 36. So
okay, 2/3. Great. Yeah. That's great. Thank you for that, Doug.
So just in case anybody was second guessing my math, I left that up to Zoom. So there is the final results actually came in at 66 and 34.
Great. Okay. Well, as you can guess, I am a Dragon enthusiast, not only because of its high level of voice recognition accuracy and the ability it gives me to dictate and have text written out 3 times faster than by typing, but also in the assistive technology area that I work in, where Dragon is very much recognized as a valuable resource for students with specific learning difficulties. So for example, students with dyslexia can use Dragon to get their ideas down quickly. They don't need to focus on spelling. They can use Dragon to take those thoughts and answers to questions, which they can often articulate, but maybe struggle to turn into written work. Now, when we think about Dragon, what comes to mind? Dictation, right? I'll see here. Let me move this on. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Well, in actual fact, we all work with Dragon in 2 ways. One is that we perform dictation. We want to get those thoughts down as quickly as possible, and we don't need to use the keyboard to do so. And the second way we work with Dragon is when we dictate voice commands or command phrases where we want Dragon to do something or carry out an action. In my experience, most Dragon users don't realize or take much notice that they are using Dragon commands all the time. Let's take when using Dragon with Microsoft Word as an example. Whenever you dictate phrases such as go to end of line or go to beginning of line, insert before, insert after, all these are Dragon commands. When we say paste that, copy that, save file, these are all Dragon commands. And if we take things a little bit further, when working in Microsoft Word, we can also dictate phrases such as insert page break, click edit, click review to access the ribbon menus. And this is what makes Dragon Professional so powerful. It's the ability to dictate commands that do something with the software we are using at the time. In fact, it's these voice commands and what we can do with them that often gets overlooked and unexplored. So for me, the most exciting thing about Dragon and what really sets it apart from other voice recognition software is the ability to create my own voice commands. And it's the creation of these commands that forms the backbone of the Voxaid application, which I'll go on to in a moment, and the basis for my book, which we'll come on to later. Now, over the years, I've noticed that most Dragon users don't take advantage of the ability to create their own commands. whether it's a lack of programming experience, or maybe just don't have the time to learn. And as a result, in my opinion, are really missing out on the advantages that voice recognition can make to their workflow. So all in all, it's the combination of working with my students and identifying user needs combined with my passion for Dragon, which led to the creation of the Voxaid application. What is Voxaid? Well, for those of you who are new to Voxaid, Voxaid is the first Dragon add-on that dramatically enhances how we can use voice recognition with our assistive software applications. As I've already mentioned, we know that Dragon is great for dictation. And also Dragon out of the box does indeed provide commands for and works well with the likes of Microsoft Word and Excel. However, Dragon only offers limited voice commands when it comes to working with third-party software. And more often than not, the commands we can use are quite generic, such as press enter, press Alt-M, or click view, for example, and in no way relate to the actual software a user might be using. So Voxaid has been developed to bridge the gap of allowing users to not only still dictate as normal, but to also address how we can enable users to navigate and perform or access their software functionalities by voice. And most importantly, in a way that is going to be naturally speaking, with command phrases or terminology that actually relates to the software they are using. So once installed, the Voxaid AT edition actually adds, well, now over 5,000 bespoke commands to Dragon Professional. And these commands have been carefully created to allow us to work with a host of popular assistive technology software. The commands installed are application specific, which means that specific commands are only available when working within a specific application, and as such allows the user to dictate voice command phrases that relate to the software they are using, and in a way that is as naturally speaking as possible, as of course we all recognize that not everyone dictates in the same way. So who and how does Voxaid benefit? Well, individuals with poor typing or mouse skills, maybe due to issues such as carpal tunnel syndrome, arthritis, repetitive strain injury, can all benefit from the increased voice control by reducing their need to perform repetitive hand movement. Users who are bedbound or cannot sit for long periods of time will be able to take advantage of the reduced keyboard and mouse actions often required to access software functions. When it comes to memory issues, the mere fact that most software applications today are packed full of features can be an issue for some people. And I'm sure all of us at some point have felt the frustration of searching the ribbon or the menus looking for a specific function, especially when trying to get to grips with new software. Next, studies have shown that one of the main sources of modern day stress and anxiety, especially in the workplace, is what researchers call cognitive load. The point is that our brains can only make so many decisions a day before it basically shuts down. So with Voxaid, how can we eliminate a bunch of those micro decisions and mental hoops our brain otherwise has to process to get a task done? An example that comes to mind is in the mind mapping software Inspiration, and where Voxaid reduces the cognitive load. With Inspiration, if you want to add an attachment to a symbol, it's not until you actually break down the process that you realize by mouse, it will take you 3 clicks to navigate to the point of selecting the file to be attached. And also bear in mind that you would need to know that the option to add an attachment is only available via the hyperlink option window. By keyboard, it takes 7 or more keyboard key combinations. By using Dragon's built-in commands, you would need to dictate 5 commands. Or if you know the keyboard shortcut, you could carry out the process using 3 Dragon built-in commands. and that would be press Control Shift 6, click File, click Select File. However, with Voxaid installed, you would only need to dictate the one command, add an attachment, and that will get you to exactly the same place. So it's by reducing those micro steps required to carry out our tasks that we can actually reduce that anxiety and allow individuals to focus, on more higher priority tasks. When it comes to increasing productivity, users of Dragon will already know that dictation can be 3 times faster than typing. But now, with the added ability of carrying out our software tasks by voice as well, we can now reduce the time spent focusing on how to carry out our tasks. So in the long run, that's going to save us time. And in fact, with Voxaid installed, you will see how we can control our software 3 times faster. Now, there are 3 main driving forces when it comes to creating Voxaid commands for software applications. 1, we want to create voice commands that enable the user to carry out, navigate, and automate the majority of the software application's features by voice. 2, how can we increase proficiency? Well, it's widely known that the most proficient users of software often use keyboard shortcuts that they've taken the time to learn. So we want to create command phrases that include terms or terminology that relate to the software in use. We want to take away the need for us to remember all those keyboard shortcuts by replacing them with voice commands that are far easier to remember than keyboard key combinations. And let's face it, who can remember all those keyboard key combinations anyway? And then 3rd, advanced commands. Can we create and include advanced voice commands that perform additional functions not available in the software? And so inevitably, with Voxaid installed, we want users to be able to think it, say it, Voxaid it. So now that leads me on to the first demonstration of how when Voxaid is installed, I can take advantage of the additional voice commands to build a mind map. And I'm just going to come out of this. Okay. Right. Now, before I do that, okay. Now, before I open up the mind mapping software, the first thing that you'll notice about Voxaid is that there's no dashboard, no extra application open on the desktop. And that's because Voxaid has been added to Dragon Professional. Now that's great because this means that users of Voxaid do not have an additional software application to learn. In fact, if I just quickly come up here to Tools, Command Browser there. Okay, so here you can see, for example, all the Voxaids here. So within the command browser, we can see that my computer has Voxaid installed, and now I have a vast number of additional voice commands ready to work with various software on my computer. So let me open up our mind map here. Okay, great. So here we have the mind mapping software, Mind Manager. Now, without Voxaid installed, my voice commands are actually limited to just using some of Dragon's built-in commands. So for example, if I want to create a new topic from this topic, I would need, if I wanted to do it by voice and I didn't have Voxaid, I would need to know the keyboard shortcut. Some of you probably know it's Enter. So that means I can literally, and if you, I'm just going to turn on the mic here. Press Enter. And there you see the new topic appears. Okay, great. But what if I want to add a subtopic? I'm going to need to know the keyboard shortcut to add a subtopic. Now that is actually Insert. But what if I want to do a spell check? That is F7. But what if I want to add a link or change the fill or text color of my topics, or maybe change the map to outline view? Now you can see that could be quite difficult. So now let me show you how I can quickly create a mind map using the Voxaid commands that have been installed to work with Mind Manager. So I might delete that just to start us again. Great. Okay. Just going to check my mic. Go to sleep. Great. Okay. Wake up. Edit this topic. Various parts of the human body. Press enter. Edit new topic. Major organs. Add subtopic. Edit topic. Brain, liver, kidneys, lungs, heart. Press enter. So there already, you're seeing the way that I'm using the Voxaid commands that have been added to Dragon Professional. I don't have to remember press enter or is it the insert key. I just literally dictate commands like edit the topic or add subtopic, and the task is carried out. Now, the subtopic that I've got here at the moment, brain, liver, kidneys, lung, and heart, there is a function in Mind Manager that gives me the ability to split that topic into smaller individual topics. Now, off the top of my head, I cannot remember the keyboard shortcut. In fact, I cannot, off the top of my head, remember the menu that it may be in. But what I do know is I know the voice command. Split topic. And there we go. So no looking around in the menus, the task is carried out. So let me do a little bit more here. Select the topic, major organs. Collapse topic. So there, for example, I'm using select and the name of the actual topic that I wish to select. Collapse topic to hide the subtopics. And in fact, by using the select command there, in a large mind map, that can be really useful because sometimes the topic that you're looking for might not actually be in eyesight. So for example, we know that we've got a topic here called kidneys. Can I find it? Select the topic kidneys. And there we are, found. So let me do some more here, show you some more examples. Insert parent topic. Undo that. Collapse topic. Expand topic. Insert two topics. Move up. Move down. Edit this topic. Major muscles. Press enter. Edit previous topic. The nervous system. Press enter. Move topic down. So there you see, I'm able to navigate, I'm able to produce extra topics by add two topics. I can edit the previous topic. I can even arrange my topics as well. And this is because of the extra voice commands that have been inserted. So let me show you some more here. Select the topic major muscles. Add two subtopics. Go left. Add boundary. Remove boundary. Select the topic, the nervous system. Add subtopic. Spinal nerves. Press enter. Now, I mentioned earlier about, can we also include advanced commands? Commands or to carry out actions that are not really readily available in the software. And here is such an example. Now in Mind Manager, they do have what's called callouts here. Now spinal nerves is actually a topic, but we've created a command that's been included, and that is to convert the topic to callout. Yeah, so I can do that quite easily. Convert to callout. Make this priority 1. Make this priority 7. Convert to topic. And there you can see the reverse. By converting it to a call out, I can also convert it back to a topic as well. So let me show you some more. Go to central topic. Add note. Okay, so within mind maps, this is probably one of the most common features that one would do, is to be able to add notes to our topics. Now with Mind Manager, I would advise that we actually use the dictation box that comes built in to Dragon. Other mind mapping softwares, not necessarily so. The reason why I suggest that in this case for Mind Manager is because we can do some formatting in the dictation box, whereas we can't do the formatting of the text here in the actual note section. So let me just show you what I mean by that. Open dictation box. This is a quick demonstration showing how we can create mind maps by voice, full stop. I am able to dictate application-specific terms that relate to the software I am currently working in. Full stop. Select quick demonstration. Bold that. Underline voice. Click transfer. And there we are. I was just looking for some text and couldn't decide which text I wanted to format there. So there you can see in the dictation box, we can apply the same sort of, usual formatting that one would expect. Now, once we've got our text here in our notes section, we might then want to hide the notes, right? So hide notes. And there we are. Again, all this is being done by voice because of the additional Voxaid commands that we've installed. So I'll show you some more here. Add link. www.voxaid.co.uk. Click OK. Add attachment. So here with add attachment, as we can see, we've got our attach files window appearing. And of course, ready for me to go and navigate to the particular file that I want to attach. So I'm going to cancel that. Click cancel. Balance map. Fit map. Export to Microsoft Word. So there you can see the our file explorer has come up, ready for me to dictate in my intended name for my Word document. Click cancel. Change to outline view. Switch to map view. Select the topic major organs. Isolate topic. Again, a popular feature here, especially with large mind maps, whereby a user just wants to focus on a certain portion of that mind map. And of course, if you want to show all the topics, show all topics. Oops, undo that. Show all topics. There we go. Yeah. Now, a little bit more here. Select the topic brain. Change text to red. Change fill to yellow. Select the topic major muscles. Change shape to circle. Change shape to diamond. Fit map. Go to central topic. Go to sleep. Actually, I'll turn off the mic. So I hope that has given you an insight as to how we can now work with Mind Manager by voice. No searching the menus, looking for our functions. you know? So, I mean, this really highlights, one of the advantages of the Voxaid commands, in that a user doesn't need to play hide and seek in the ribbon looking for their commands. Oh, let me see, where is that command? You simply just dictate the command and the task or the function is carried out. Now, throughout that demonstration, I've actually made use of about 9 or 10 generic built-in Dragon commands, namely press enter, undo that, click cancel. And all the other 50 or so commands are the voice commands supplied by Voxaid. In fact, with Mind Manager, there's over 1,000 extra command phrases available to work with Mind Manager. And that number is growing, whether due to Mind Manager adding new functions or in response to requests from users. Now, granted, the Mind Manager application does allow us to create some really complex commands. And this actually reminds me of how a set of Mind Manager commands actually came about, where I was contacted by an author from the States who uses Voxaid with Mind Manager to put down her ideas for when writing her books. But what she inquired was, is there a way that she can put her sentence ideas down into one topic and then split the topic by her sentences, which is not a feature that Mind Manager provides. So let me show you what I mean. New topic. Sentence 1, full stop. This is sentence 2. Undo that. Sentence 1, full stop. This is sentence number 2, full stop. This is sentence number 3, full stop. Press enter. So here, for example, I've got 3 sentences within my topic. Imagine a user maybe brainstorming those ideas, just getting those sentence ideas down. Now, we've seen already the split topic feature within Mind Manager, but that won't work here because split topic within Mind Manager splits by the individual words. We want this topic to be split by the sentences. So we want it split by the full stops. And those who are from the States, I'm sure the word is periods for you guys. So split by full stops. And there you see, we've split that sentence up into the 3 individual sentences. So again, that's just down to a recommendation coming in. And actually, we've moved on from there to include split by commas and split by semicolons as well. Another thing I'd like to highlight is how Voxaid allows for natural language variations when we're dictating the commands. For some, when we use mind maps, may well be used to the terms topic or the terms branches in our mind maps, inspiration users, symbols, for example. So let me just show you how our natural language works here. Add topic. So here you can see I've added a topic. I could have said add new branch, create new branch, create a new topic, and various other options to perform the same task. As an example, create 5 subtopics. And there we go, that natural language. As I'm sure you would agree that with Voxaid installed, you can see how I can seamlessly transition between dictation and using or controlling the software. And with a little bit of practice, these voice commands will seriously cut down, your build time if you're creating a mind map, for example. It's going to improve accessibility for those that need it. And as I like to say, of course, the most important thing is to get you to that happy hour, as I like to call it. Now, as I mentioned before, Dragon does indeed work well with the likes of Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And those of you who are the more advanced users of Dragon will know that we're able to create some really complex advanced commands, especially if you incorporate the Dragon scripting language. And these advanced commands can enable us to perform tasks which cannot be done by default voice recognition options. So the Voxaid commands installed for Microsoft Office are there to add what we call productivity enhancing commands. These are the types of commands that would take numerous amount of steps to carry out manually, whether by mouse or keyboard actions, but of course can now be executed using simple Voxaid command phrases. So let me open up Microsoft Word for you. Do you have it ready to go? Great. So what I want to do here is show you how the additional Voxaid commands can enhance the way that we can work with highlighting text in Microsoft Word. So insert dummy text. Okay, so here I have some dummy text in my Word document. Now, the process of highlighting, if we just look at that for a second and what it actually entails. If I want to highlight some of my text, I've got to select it, up to the highlighting tool and click. Okay, fine. I can highlight some more text here and click. If I want to highlight in a different color, I've got to go up, click the down arrow, change my color, and then select it. But what if I want to go back to yellow? I've got to go back up, select it again. So you can see there's a lot of mouse movement going on there just to change the color and in fact, just to actually carry out the highlighting process. So let me show you what Voxaid actually brings to the table here. I'm just going to undo that and that and that. There we go. Okay. Select video provides. Highlight red. Select prove your point. Highlight in yellow. Select online video. Highlight in red. Select search online. Highlight in bright green. Highlight in blue. Highlight in teal. Select fix your document. Highlight in red. So there you can see no mouse movement involved. Simple. I select the text that I want, and I was using some of the natural language variations there. Highlight red, or highlight in red, or highlight as red. Again, allowing for that natural language. Now, many of my students, when they're reading their journals and so forth, like to read through their journals and highlight sections of text. And those documents can be quite large. And a feature that we've included here is the ability to extract the highlighted text. We want to take it, all the highlighted text, and place it into a new Word document. Well, you can imagine doing that manually. You'd have to highlight, well, open the second document first, in fact, highlight, copy, switch to the second document, paste, come back to the first document, highlight, copy. You get the idea. But with Voxaid installed, all we need to do, extract highlights. And there we go. We've got a new Word document open with just the highlighted text. Let me show you some more of what we can do with the highlights here. List windows for Microsoft Word. Choose 2. So I'm back here to my original document. We've got our highlighted text, but it may well be the case that I don't want to highlight, or I don't want to actually extract all of the highlighted text. Maybe I just want the red highlighted text. And again, we enable that to happen. Extract the red highlights. There we go. New Word document, task performed. I'm going to show you a few more features here. List windows for Microsoft Word. Choose 3. So again, I'm back to my original document. Now, what about if we want to remove the highlights. And in this situation here, actually, I only want to remove the yellow highlights. And we've got control over that as well by voice. You can imagine going through a large document, trying to find all your instances of yellow highlighted text and having to change or remove the highlight. With Voxaid installed, remove the yellow highlights. Task done. And of course, if we wanted to clear all the highlights, select all, remove the highlights. Undo that. Clear the highlights. So again, just showing you a little bit of that natural language variation. So there you can see how Voxaid in this situation makes the whole process of highlighting more simple, saves you time. And with these additional advanced commands will make you much more efficient. Now, Voxaid also enhances how we can work with comments within Word as well. And I'd like to show you a nice little feature here as well. Okay. Select Video Provides. Insert a comment. Click New Comment. This is a good piece of work. Press Escape. Select to make your document. Insert a comment. Click New Comment. I think you should revise this sentence. Press Escape. So here we have a document with some comments in it. Now, imagine a scenario where a student has received their essay back from their lecturer or tutor, teacher, and it's got all these comments in the document. And now what the student wants to do is just to be able to focus on the comments made and the original text. So we've included a feature, which means that we can actually extract the comments. And let me show you that. Extract comments. And again, we're making a new Word document just with those comments there and the original text. Now, let me show you some of what can be done in PowerPoint. So give me a moment. I've got my PowerPoint example here. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so again, Dragon out of the box does provide commands for PowerPoint. Yes, it does. So for example, go forward one slide. And there we are. But what about if you're creating your presentation? Maybe you're having a look through and you're thinking that maybe I want to swap some of my slides around. I want to move their position. Maybe I want to move slide 2 to position 5. So move slide to position 5. Move slide to position 3. So again, we're including what we call those sort of advanced time-saving type commands. Go to first slide. Now, again, the next command I'd like to show you is as a result of a request. And that is there a way that we can create our table of contents for all our slides in our PowerPoint? Not a function that's immediately available within PowerPoint, but we've included it as one of the Voxaid commands. And to do it, create table of contents. Go to first slide. And there you can see a table of contents created with links to the various different slides within the PowerPoint presentation. And there are other advanced commands in there. We can export the selected slides maybe to a Word document or to another PowerPoint to start fresh, for example. Next, I'd like to show you in Excel. Again, Dragon does work well with Excel. So our focus is there any nice advanced commands that we can actually add? So for example, we can do by Dragon, go to cell B2. And that goes, that's a Dragon command, great. But now what I want to do is select the next two cells. And to do that, I want to use, there's a function in Excel, which is to extend selection. Now, here's that question for you, if you don't mind. Does anyone know the keyboard shortcut to extend selection in Excel?
Anybody has any ideas, put it into the chat or
Yeah.
temporarily
Oh,
unmute
sorry,
your
I should have said that, Doug. Sorry.
That's no problem.
Okay. Did we get anything there? No. Okay.
Nothing yet. I'm patiently waiting to see if we have any
Okay.
Excel
Let me
experts.
move on. Let me move on. There is, to extend the selection in Excel is actually function key 8. I'm just going to show you that. If you just concentrate on my mouse for the moment and look down here at the bottom of Excel, if I press F8, you can see extend selection is turned on. And if I press F8 again, it turns it off. And that's the feature that I want. But yeah, I can't always remember the function keys. We've got so many other things to try and remember. But what I do know is I do know what I want to do. I want to extend selection. Extend selection. And there we go. Again, it's about that natural language. I'm thinking it and I'm going to say it. I want Voxaid to do it. So now that I've extended the selection, I'm going to move right to. There we are. I've selected my cells. And another feature that we've added is to be able to speak the selection. This is great for people who just want those numbers read back to them. Speak the selection.
12, 8, 14.
That might be a little bit low for some of you because I know it's coming through my microphone, but I hope you heard that. Now, for those who do know Dragon, you may think, oh yeah, but couldn't you have used read that? In fact, no, read that would have just read the number 12. So again, it's about looking for those commands, especially in the likes of Microsoft Office, where, you know, we call them those advanced commands really. And also off the back of the PowerPoint request for a table of contents, we've also done that with Excel as well. So if you look at the sheets at the bottom, you've got car sales Q1, clients, and car sales Q2. So now I can actually sort my sheets alphabetically. Before I get onto PowerPoint, I'll do that. Okay, let me try that for us. Sort sheets alphabetically. There we go. And now the sheets have been sorted alphabetically. Great. And the one that I was just mentioning there is about, can we have a table of contents as well for the sheets in our workbook? And we can create table of contents. And there you must remember to turn off the mic. And there you can see we've done that and created that. Okay. So these examples very much illustrate how, you know, we can reduce a user's cognitive load. Here we are eliminating a bunch of those micro steps that your brain otherwise has to process to get a task done, you know, and therefore, again, is going to free your mind for other tasks that one has to do. So the next example I would like to show you is how we can use these Voxaid commands to reduce the amount of mouse action one would require when we're using Glean. So let me just minimize here and bring that up there. Okay. Now, for those of you who are new to Glean, Glean is in fact the latest product from the company formerly known as Sonocent. Now, usually I would carry out a demonstration of the Voxaid commands in action with Sonocent Audio Note Taker, as there really is a wealth of features in Audio Note Taker, and actually it gives me a chance to really show off what can be achieved by voice. However, Doug did mention, as there is a move towards Glean, that might be a better option. And in fact, on reflection, actually, Doug, although Glean does not have the vast array of functions as Audio Note Taker, at least we will see how we can use the Voxaid commands within the Chrome browser. as Glean is a web-based application. So what I'll do is I'll demonstrate this in sections. Okay, let me see the best way to do this. Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, I'll break this up into sections and show you what we can do here by voice with Glean. So at the moment, I'm here at my homepage of Glean, and you can see my previously recorded events here. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is how can we go about starting up a new event and actually getting the recording process and maybe adding some notes as well. So from the home page, I can do click new event. And there we are. We are up and running in a new event. And those who are new to Glean, event is the terminology associated with Glean. So the next thing I might want to do is insert a title. Insert title. Demonstration of Voxaid commands in action. Press enter. Next, I might want to add a heading to this particular recording. Mark note as heading. Creating an event using the microphone. Post note. And again, when we think about working with Glean, we are talking about notes. We are talking about post note, which sends the text into the notes feed. So the next thing then is how do we actually start the recording process? Now, I'll just show you this by mouse first of all. If I click here on the record button, there are in fact 3 methods for recording. In person, which is just a microphone. We can do screen audio or screen audio and mic. Now, without Voxaid installed, doing it by Dragon, I would be required, I'd have to dictate, click recording options and then click microphone. So there's 2 parts if I wanted to begin a microphone recording. However, with Voxaid installed, record by microphone. And there we go. Now, on the right-hand side, for those who are new to Glean, what you're seeing there is the sort of visual representation of my audio. So when I actually stop speaking, and then I begin speaking again, my computer is using its microphone to record my voice. So even though I do have the Dragon microphone off, that doesn't matter because it's actually the laptop recording my voice here. So that's how we start a new recording. And of course, if we want to stop recording, and that stops it. But I'm going to leave it recording for the moment. Yeah. Record by microphone. Okay. So when we're working within Glean, as we are recording or making our recording, Glean gives us the ability to add notes, and you can see those down there at the bottom: heading, important review, and tasks. So if I want to insert a note, I can dictate insert note, adding text to the notes feed, post note, insert important note. There are various types of notes. Post note. So there you see, I've added an ordinary or default type note and also an important note as well. Now, there is another feature here with Glean, which enables us to sort of just place a mark on the actual feed, as it were. And to do this manually, you'd need to actually hover over the particular label and actually hold down your mouse key in order to carry it out. So with Voxaid installed, I can just simply say, press review. And that is emulating the same process. I'll do a couple more. Insert a task note. I need to complete my Dragon homework. Select Dragon, choose one, post note. And there we are. Okay, so let me stop this recording actually. Press stop. And that has stopped. So that's the first part I want to show you, whereby how do we get a new event up and running and actually start the recording process. Yeah. Now, what I want to show you now is how do we work with slides within Glean. Glean also has a feature to import slides, and that's what I want to show you next. So I'm currently in my first event here. From here, I don't necessarily need to go back to my home page. I can dictate, create new event. Import slides. Click desktop. Press tab. Move down 6. Click open. Insert title. Major cities around the world. Press enter. Mark note as heading. History, comma, population and demographics. Post note. Record by microphone. And we are up and away. All by voice. Importing the slides, putting my title down. I've even included a heading as well and got the recording process up and running. Now, once we are recording and using slides, and again, for those who are new to Glean, Glean works with PDF. So it was a PDF that I actually imported as well, just to let you know. So the next thing one might want to do is post or work with the slides, post the next slide to the feed. We've only got one slide up there at the moment. So as you would expect, post next slide. Insert note. Australia. Post note. Post next slide. Insert note. New York. Post note. Insert review note. Statue of Liberty. Post note. Insert note as task. I must remember to, scratch that. I must remember to research the 5 boroughs. Post note. And there we go. So I posting slides to the feed, and at the same time, I'm also adding notes to the feed as I'm going through the actual recording process. Now, Glean does allow us to look or maybe navigate through the slides as well without actually adding them to the feed. So, for example, go to next slide. Go to next slide. Go to previous slide. And we can do that. And another feature that Glean also includes is the ability to go back to what's called the current slide. Now, in this situation, the current slide is the last slide that you posted to the feed, which is slide 3. So I can just simply dictate, go to current slide. And there we are back at New York. And of course, I'll press stop. Press stop. Brilliant. Okay, so that's the second way, working with slides. The third way I want to show that the Voxaid commands working with Glean is maybe when we want to find or open previous events that we've recorded, and now we can maybe edit those events as well. So here I am in my current event at the moment. I want to get back to the home page, or I want to see my events. Show my events. Not it. Hold on, let's do that again. Show my events. There we go. Great. Okay. And here we are back at the home page. Now, I've got a lot of events here in my list. So with the Voxaid commands installed, we've also included, well, we call them search type commands. We want people to be able to find their events even when they're not in eyesight. So what we can do here is I can use a command, find the event, and either the full name of the event that I'm looking for or a portion of the title. So for example, down here at the bottom, I have an event here called Solar System Lecture. I'm going to scroll up to be out of sight. So I can dictate, find the event Solar System. And there I am. If I want to open this event, open this event. And there it is. Now that was a two-part process to achieve what I wanted. I looked for Solar System first of all, and then I opened this event in order to actually open it up. Let me show you how we can do it actually with one voice command as well. Go to my events. Now this time what I'll do is I want to open major cities around the world. And I want to do that with just one voice command. So again, we've included open the event, and I say either the full name or a portion of the name, and that will open. Open the event major cities. And there we are. So again, how can we reduce those micro steps required to carry out what we want to do? So once we've got our event open here, you might want to maybe edit the title. Edit title. Updated. Press enter. And of course, you're going to want to play back that audio that we've recorded. And we can do that. I hope you can hear it. You should hear it through my microphone, even though it'd be a bit low. Press play. We are up and away. Press pause. All by voice. And I don't really want to listen to too much of my voice. Okay, so press play, press pause. Gets us going. Now, with Glean, Glean actually offers us 6, if I'm correct, yeah, 6 playback speeds when we want to play back our audio. So we can actually affect that as well. So I can dictate, change to speed 2. Notice there how it's changed it to 0.75. I can change it to the double playback speed. Double playback speed. And there it is now at 2x. And of course, if I want to go back to the default playback speed, change to default speed. And again, that gets carried out for us. Now, as well as playback, you're going to want to maybe find words within your notes that have been recorded. So again, we're using our Voxaid commands to enable us to do that. So for example, find the word Australia. And there it is. Now notice this time that we actually get the search bar appearing there as well with the 1/1. And obviously, if there's more than one occurrence of Australia, then we're going to dictate commands like find next, find previous in order to navigate our way around. So once we're happy with that, we can just close search window. Now, we've selected Australia, close the search window, and now you can see over here, the cursor has actually moved to that particular position when the note was added to the feed. So here we can take advantage of commands such as skip forwards, skip backwards, skip forwards, skip backwards. And there we go. And of course, we could then just press play and press pause if we so wish. Let me do a little bit more editing here. Go to the word New York. Close search window. Go to end of line. Comma. This is a place I would love to go to. Finish editing. There, I'm adding some notes to that as well. Let me do a little bit more. Go to the topic Statue of Liberty. Close search window. Expand note. So again, the ability to expand your notes within Glean is there, and therefore we make the voice commands to carry out those particular tasks. Let me do a little bit more here, actually. Why not? Go to the word statue. Close search window. I love the statue. Collapse note. And there we are. Now, another feature within Glean is the ability to switch to what they call their reading view. Some people prefer to work that way. Let me just quickly show you that. Open reading view. And here it is. This is the reading view here that Glean offers. And of course, if we want to go back, well, we're going to dictate the obvious, go back. And there we are. Yep. Now, the last part of this demonstration with Glean is where we are recording from the screen. Now, to do that, it's going to take a little bit of a setup here for you, but I will get it done. I'm going to make a new tab, and I'm going to come here, and I want to, there we go, and I want this over here. There we go, that looks good. Okay, let's just select that. So here I've got a chemistry lecture. I was hoping that the adverts wouldn't start playing. Can you believe it? All right, let's try that again. Let's just bring that down. Let's just try again. Okay, let's select. I may well just leave that off for the moment and see if it does start. Let's see. Great. Okay, great. So what I'm trying to emulate here for you is the ability that Glean gives us to record from screen. So this might be where a student, for example, is recording a Zoom meeting or watching a particular video for review for their work, etc. Or a lecture maybe is coming through this way in a separate browser. So let me show you how this works. Okay, so I'm just going to create new event. Create new event. Okay, so here we are. Now, this time, I want to record screen audio. That's my option this time. So I'm going to dictate that. Record screen audio. Now, when we choose that option, Glean brings up this additional window. Now, some parts of it I do have to do manually. I do have to choose the Chrome tab. I also have to manually select this chemistry lecture, as it were. And I could say click share audio, and I could dictate click share. That would equally work. In fact, I'll just do that. Click share. And there we've started the process. Now, this time, if you notice there on the right-hand side, yeah, even though I'm talking, there's no visual representation of me speaking. And that's because Glean is actually waiting for the system audio this time and waiting for that particular tab to get going. So if I actually press play and maybe turn on the volume, you can see that that now is picking up the audio from that particular tab. I'll turn that down a little bit just so it doesn't sort of, there we go. Okay, great. So we are now recording our lecture, and as one would expect, while we're in that recording process, can we still add our notes and so on and so forth? And yes, we can. So for example, press review. Press important. Insert a heading. Periodic table. Post note. And now, a feature that Glean also offers is the ability for us to post a screenshot. So we can do that as well. Post screenshot. And there we are. Myself personally, I prefer the term to take screenshot rather than post. So I can take screenshot. Again, we're allowing for that natural language variation. So I'm going to stop that. There we go. Okay. So there again, I'll just stop that now. So there we're seeing that we can actually do our screen recordings in the same way and also add the notes there as well. For some people, I will just show you here actually. Change to lightning mode. That is a feature of Glean where some people prefer to work in lightning mode. So again, all the sort of functionalities that one can carry out in Glean, Voxaid is making commands to execute those. Yeah. So I hope there you can see that, you know, the additional Voxaid commands not only allow us to use and navigate Glean by voice, but, you know, I was able to perform the task by dictating again what I say, application specific command phrases, which are actually associated with the Glean software. Great. Okay, so I'm going to minimize these. There we go. And let's minimize that. And bring this up now. Okay. So today we've talked a lot about Dragon or Dragon's voice commands and seen by using Voxaid how we have ready-made commands available to work with a host of AT software. And this actually brings me on onto my book, Dragon Professional, a step further, how it came about, why I wrote it, and who is it for. So over the years, I've always sought ways where I can just make things a little easier for myself and ultimately save myself time. Now, to be honest, it's fair to say that I have created what may be at times deemed as some overly complicated voice commands. Most of them have had to do with automation and how I can create solutions to solving endless paperwork demands. Just as an example, when I'm working with my students, I receive their details as a Word document. I'm then required to create various documents, whether that's their sort of timetable sheets or assessment reports. And I have to extract information from the original document and place that into my new documents. And then I sometimes have to convert those documents into PDFs, and the list goes on. Tedious and repetitive is the word that springs to mind. So to stop myself from procrastinating and not getting the paperwork done, I created a voice command that once dictated into the original document carries out the whole process for me automatically, including the converting to PDFs, renaming the files automatically and filing in the appropriate directories, resulting in more time for my tea breaks and that happy place, as I like to say. Now, from time to time, when attempting to write these voice commands, there have been occasions when I've been looking for additional help on how to create these types of commands. And what I found is that there was a lack of resources, whether online or in books, that would explain how to create Dragon commands in a clear, and I would say non-geeky way. There was no documentation I could find that would give non-techie instructions on how to create commands. And if I do say so myself, would teach in a way that I would want to teach the creating of Dragon commands by offering clear step-by-step instructions accompanied with visuals that a user or reader would find easy to follow along. And most importantly of all, that the types of examples shown would relate to real-world scenarios. So in actual fact, it's my passion for teaching Dragon, along with the ability to create my own advanced commands that do save myself valuable time, that actually motivated me into writing a book on the subject, and to really, to really encourage others to start creating their own bespoke commands too. So this book is for absolutely anyone who wants to get more out of Dragon Professional. And I promise you, you do not need to have a programming background to enjoy the benefits of creating your own commands. For beginners, it contains clear step-by-step instructions which guide the reader on how to create your own bespoke commands, whether it's to automatically generate email signatures, create your own voice commands to perform specific application functions, or creating forms that can be filled in by voice. The book introduces you to the various types of voice commands that can be created and uses real-life examples to demonstrate which types are appropriate for the intended task. So it can be read chapter by chapter, or for the intermediate and advanced users, you can take advantage of the source code that's provided and use them for reference. So now I would like to go through how you can create a simple voice command from scratch, just to give you an idea of what you can get from the book. Okay. So here on my desktop, I have an application form there, that document there. And what I want to demonstrate here is how we can create a nice simple voice command that opens that document as and when I need it. So to do this, if I come up to the Dragon bar, I'm going to go to Tools, and we're going to add a new command. Pull that down a bit. There we go. So this is called the My Commands Editor. Okay. And if we look at this window here, we've got a few options that we need to fill in. The first one, the My Command Name. Now in this field, we want to insert the words, the phrase that we want to dictate that then gets Dragon to open that particular document. So something along the lines of open my application form. Imagine a user creating this maybe for admin. It could be open my marketing brochure, open my sales spreadsheet, for example. Maybe it's a document that you're opening often throughout the day. Now, the next options we need to consider, description is just optional. You're just going to write a description about what this command does. The group is more about filing the file, the command that we've created. So for example, I might want to file this in my N.O.A.T group. The next part here, availability. Now, global means that I can be using any software, and that when I dictate this command, Dragon goes off and does what I want it to do. So I could be in Word, I could be in Excel, I could be in PowerPoint, anywhere. If we selected application specific, then it may well be the case that we only want this command to only work when we're inside of Microsoft Word, for example. So if I'm in Google Chrome and I try it, it won't work. Nothing will happen. And Windows specific might well be the case that it only should be available when I'm in Microsoft Word and I've got a specific window open, maybe the fonts window, for example. That's the only time this command should be made available to me. So for this particular command that we're doing here, we want it to be global. I want to be anywhere and be able to dictate the command, open my application form, and that happens. Now, the next thing we'll look at is the command type. Now, there are in fact 4 different types of commands. And again, the book goes through the various different commands and gives you guidance on which type of command is going to be most appropriate for the task that you want to achieve. With R1, we want a step-by-step. And I would encourage beginners who are on the journey of creating their own commands to go for step-by-step commands. That's a nice way to get started. So once we clicked step by step, we then have some options here, and we have to choose the type of step that we want. And again, the book will describe and tell you, you know, what each of the steps are all about. In our case, we want open application down here. You can see that. I'm going to then click on insert, and that brings up this window here. So now I need to tell Dragon what is the file or the application that I want to open when I dictate this command. So I'm going to browse. I know it's on my desktop. Now we can't see it at the moment because it is in fact a file, not an application that I want to open. I want to open the file. So I'm going to come down here and just select all files, and I should see application form and click open. So that's now the target. Arguments, well, that's for command when a lot to do with if you're working within the browser, and the book does explain that. We want it to be normal rather than minimized or maximized, so that's perfectly fine. And we just click OK. And there's our first step to opening this application. And in fact, with this particular command, it's our only step. There's only one step that we need to carry out. There's nothing more. We just want it to open the file. So I'm going to click Save. Open my application form. And there it is. This is the application form. Simple. Took 2 minutes. Could you imagine how much time that could save if this was a document that you were opening 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day? No need for you to go searching in the particular directory or folder looking for the actual document. Just make the command, and here we are. Now, here is a form that I've just put together. It's not an N.O.A.T form, but hey. And when we're filling in forms, the normal sort of practice, I would imagine, would be we might want to click after the word title, maybe put a space in there, and then put Mr., Professor, Doctor, for example. That would be our manual way. But I've already built a command that enables us to do that same process in a far easier way. Move to title. Move to title. Oh, there we are. Right, I'm going to turn off the mic and I'm going to go again. Here we are. Let me go back. It told me to say it again, so I did. So let's try that again. Move to title. Thank you. There we are. So what's actually happened here is when I dictate the command move to, and whatever the name of the label is, it moves the cursor there, but also moves it 1 space forward as well. Yeah, move to surname. Move to surname. There, you can see that. Nice, quick way to get around our particular document. And again, within the book, it shows you how to create the command that enables this process. even if our labels are out of sight. So down here on my second page, I've got extra notes, but this time it's a little bit different. Rather than my cursor ending up after the colon, I actually want it to end up inside my box here. I'll come back up to the top, move to extra notes. Notice it's come down and inside the box as well. So these are the nice little techniques that we can learn how to do. Now, now that I'm in my extra notes section, maybe I want to get, produce a large amount of text. Yeah. So for example, insert North American text. So what I've done there is, again, I've created a command that instantly, when I dictate the command, insert North American text, it produces this bit of color, an image, and a large amount of text. This sort of thing is ideal, maybe if you want different email signatures when you're doing your emails. I've actually done some work with some lawyers as well who really benefit from this type of thing in order to fill their documentation, depending on their clients and so on and so forth. I can change my mind about this. Undo that. Insert Canadian text. There we are. So as well as that, at the bottom here, we've also got some fields that can be filled in. And again, the book shows you how to produce these types of forms that can be easily filled in by form. I can say, go to next field. Oops, undo that. Let me come out of there. Next field. There we are. Next field is the command. Next field. And once I'm there, I highlight it, and it's highlighted already, should I say. 003421. Next field. Yes. So you can imagine a document with lots of fields in there, next field, previous field. And as soon as it moves to that field, you automatically dictate over the top. So that's just a little sample of the different types of commands or different things that can be achieved as well within Dragon. And of course, you do have the advanced scripting, which is a whole sort of another level as well. So let me close that down. So just to round up, I'm going to actually go back here. So I just want to give you a roundup about Voxaid and the Dragon Professional book. The main version of Voxaid is the AT edition. This provides voice commands for a number of various mind mapping software, such as Mind Genius, Mind View, Inspiration, and Mind Manager, which we saw today. Also, there's commands for your popular note-taking applications. I've mentioned Sonocent Audio Note Taker, Glean we've seen, Evernote. There are also commands for Zotoro, the popular referencing tool, and Dolphin Supernova. So for example, changing screen filters and functions can be carried out by voice. Now, the AT version is growing as we constantly seek new software to add to the set. And in fact, over the coming weeks, there will be voice commands added for Microsoft Edge and Adobe Reader and some others as well. Here you can see the URL for the Voxaid website, and it's there that you'll find a support page for additional information. For those who do have Voxaid, they will often go to the support page, maybe to download the commands for the various application or the PDFs. And then we have the URL to the Voxaid YouTube page, which actually shows Voxaid commands in action with various software, and is really a great resource as a tutorial for users as well. The YouTube channel also is continuously growing, so I would recommend once you get there, click on the subscribe button, or follow us on Twitter to keep up to date with the developments. So again, with Voxaid, think of it that, there's also a phrase we like to use. We've done the hard work for you, basically. So it's thousands upon thousands of commands boxed up there, ready to be used with additional or assistive software. And then there is the book. Now, the paperback version is available on all the usual online bookstores, such as Amazon and Barnes and Noble. It is available electronically through a number of online sites. There is Kindle version, Apple Books as well. And there is also the accessible PDF version, which can be accessed from our sister site. And for N.O.A.T members who have attended or viewed this webinar, I've put in a code for a 20% discount, which will be available for the next 30 days. You just need to follow the bit.ly or the bit.ly URL. That will take you to the book page, and at the checkout, use the code N.O.A.T 30 days, all as one word. So just before we go to any questions, I'm hoping, Doug, I'm hoping you will, or I will, put the URLs in the chat.
Yep, I just did that for you, Mike.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Great. And so in the center there, you can see my email address and Twitter. And of course, if you have any further questions outside of the webinar at a later date, please feel free to drop me a line and I'll get back to you. And I think there, Doug, that is back to you. Great.
Okay. Wonderful, Michael. Thank you so very much. I know that you've had an awful lot of information to share with us today, and it's taken us a little bit over the 90 minutes that we had planned. So some people have had to leave. So yes. It's their loss. Hopefully they'll watch the replay within 30 days, be able to take advantage of that discount code. So
I do apologize.
Nope, it was wonderful information, and I'm glad that that you were able to share it with us, Michael. So I'll make sure that that code gets out to the people that might have had to leave earlier. So in the chat, I have put in the bit.ly link for that offer that Michael's extending, as well as the 20% off discount code and his contact information. I do want to just encourage anybody that has questions. There's a few that have been in the chat over the meeting or over the webinar today that we'll get to in just a moment. But please, anybody with any other questions or comments, please do add them into the chat. And from an accessibility perspective, or those who would prefer to just speak their question, we're happy to keep an eye on the participants list. So if you unmute your microphone, then we'll let you be able to speak directly instead of through the chat. And one thing that I'm kind of obligated to mention to people is, just so that it's out there and it's stated explicitly, is that while Michael has been here sharing this product and his book with us today, and he's offering the discount code through a unique link for the N.O.A.T members and those who are attending our webinar, I must say that we in no way receive any remuneration for any of this. So again, just a disclosure that needs to be put out there. I know I've paid full price for my book and or my copy of the book, and it was beyond well worth it. So that's it's certainly worth getting. And I hesitate to say it's not bathroom reading material, Michael, and I want to explain that. And the reason I say that is, you don't really want to be reading this book sitting on the you want to be sitting in front of the computer. Now, if you're capable to hold the book and read it and use your laptop, then okay. Otherwise, sit at your desk and devour this book, because it's well worth it. And as well, the program, the Voxaid program itself, does bring incredible functionality to so many different programs out there. So with that little disclaimer, and at the same time an endorsement, what I would like to do here is to just go through the chat. We've got a question that came in early on from Quinby, asking, does Voxaid have built-in custom commands per the program as a base, or does the user create every command for every third-party software? So I know you might have answered that indirectly throughout your presentation, Michael, but I'd like you to sum it up if you could.
No, right. No, once installed, the commands are installed automatically. There's no need for the user to have to create those commands. Is that the question? Have I got that right there?
Yep, I think you
Yeah.
do. And
Yeah.
Quinby, if you're still with us, and if there is any further clarification, oh, I got a thank you in the chat from Quinby.
Great. Yeah,
So that's
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's why there I've said, we've done the hard work for you. That's the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. And I'm just reminding people, if they want to ask by voice, please do unmute your microphone. I'm keeping an eye on the participants list there.
Mhm.
And so we're coming through here. I think this user or this participant has left. It was from the N.O.A.T Center, place I want to work from just because of the name is so neat. And they had mentioned that they had answered their own question during the webinar by looking it up, but I wanted to give you the chance, Michael, to address this, because their question was, is Voxaid included with Dragon for free?
No. Is Voxaid included with Dragon for free, did you say?
That's their question. They answered their own question, but I want to give you the opportunity.
No,
Because,
it's separate from the actual Dragon Professional application. Yes, it is an add-on that you get hold of separately. Yeah.
Perfect. And while all of our webinars for the Network of Assistive Technologists, we always focus on 100% on the education, but that does lead us to bring new products or newly discovered products to the actual to the table, such as we're doing here with Voxaid. So can you just give us a brief idea, even though we don't offer sales opportunities, Michael? I want you to give an idea to people what the cost might be for this and how it's licensed.
Right. So it is the price is 179 UK. That's sterling, English pounds. And in terms of license, it's an on-rolling, because we're constantly updating. So it's not like the license runs out. We will be actually developing some smaller package that might be maybe just Voxaid for a particular application, for example. And we've had some real sort of interest in that as well. So, stay tuned for that information as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And I noticed that Wink has an unmuted microphone. We'll go to Wink, and then Jane has a raised hand. We'll go to Jane, and we'll come back for a couple other questions in the chat.
Great.
So,
somebody just popped up in the chat about having a US seller available. Is that a thing, or do we have to go through the UK and go through the
at the moment?
Yeah.
Sorry, Wink. Sorry to interrupt you there. Nice to meet you. Yes, at the moment, it can be purchased from the Voxaid website. In terms of US sellers, that is something that we're going to be looking to talk to some people who have approached us. I'm actually in the middle of talking to people from Australia at the moment. So yes, that will be the future. But for now, anyone from anywhere can download the software directly from the actual site.
Question number 2.
Thank you.
I'm a power user of Dragon, and I've
Lovely.
done some things as crazy as creating macros to dictate Braille.
Right.
So I've gotten into the very complex level of doing this, and I can see personally how this will help me in what I personally do. But I deal with training other people in technology who are working with students at the college level. So I'm interested in, since I haven't seen the book yet, is there like a workbook type set of exercises that we could use to train students on how to use this effectively?
No is the answer straight away, but it's interesting you say that, because I really want to, the sort of path forward is to, in a way, sort of develop maybe sort of training courses in this type of thing and being able to create. That's what I want to do. That is my that's my vision there. And it'd be great to maybe liaise with someone like yourself who, that would be great to get some feedback on that sort of thing.
Well, I'll just throw myself out as a volunteer. I would be happy to work with you on developing workbooks for this.
Right. Okay. Fantastic. Excellent. I hope, Doug, you can get the details. Are you, Doug?
I think we can quite happily make arrangements for you and Wink to meet and take that discussion further offline. And
Yeah, of course.
there's a slight possibility, depending upon interest, that we might be offering something through N.O.A.T as well. So so Wink, don't be surprised if we have a joint conversation with Michael.
Oh, I would be happy. I think that would be the perfect solution, to be honest with you, Doug.
Yeah. So I appreciate you bringing that up, Wink, and bringing that out into the open, that little secret that was, well, it's not a secret anymore. And Michael and I have talked about it, so it's,
Yes,
I hope he remembers. And that
I
I'm
do
not
remember,
springing this
Doug.
totally on him.
I do remember indeed, Doug. I
Good.
do remember. Yes, I do.
Good. All right. So Jane, I promised you're next, and then we've got a couple questions in the chat to go to. So go ahead, Jane.
Great. So hi, Michael.
Hi, good
So
evening.
I was looking at looking for clarification on the application, the Voxaid application. When it's installed and you have all these commands, are they locked in any way, or can you tweak them and modify them for a person's abilities?
Okay, so in terms of modification, Jane, no, you can't change the actual commands because they're locked. Yes.
Okay.
But you can still perform the sort of when we train our commands. So if you know, in terms of pronunciation, so you can still train how you pronounce the commands, of course. So just by going through the normal training process within Dragon.
Okay, all right. So that's helpful. And then the other thing is the updates. So when we install that, when you download this, install this, are there updates available where you just go up and get the updates, or are they pushed out, or how does that work?
Okay, so at the moment, once it's installed, there's the Voxaid icon is there on your desktop. My recommendation at this moment in time, just follow us on Twitter or YouTube, for example, and then you just merely double click on that same desktop icon, and it automatically checks. So you don't have to actually wait for, you know, for Twitter or whatever, but you just double click on the icon and it checks the server to see if there is a latest update. Because to be honest with you, Jane, sometimes we do updates without letting people know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Do you know what I mean?
Happens,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, we do that. So yeah, it just makes sense, you know. Double click and it will tell you, oh, there's a new one. You download it, and you know and it's installed again, and the new update is there. Brilliant.
Okay, and so as far as feedback mechanisms go, if there's people that obviously you sound like you're very open to adding things in. So do you have a specific feedback means that you prefer for
at the moment? No, at the moment, any suggestions that come via the contact us at the website, obviously via a platform like here, I would appreciate someone like yourself by all means writing out to me if you can, if you've got the time to do that. And like you said, I'm extremely open to ideas. I like I mentioned in the presentation with the author from the States. I mean, you know, she was saying to me, thank you, but actually, no, actually, thank you, because you gave the idea and it was so worthwhile. So yes, please reach out in whichever form.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Good.
Great. Thank you, Jane. And Wink, I'm going to come back to you in just a second. I want to get to a couple of the questions that have been lingering in the chat. I do see you unmuted though. Quinby had asked another question. Does Voxaid improve Dragon's use for folks with speech impairments? No,
because at the end of the day, we are installing additional voice commands. So yeah, that's what Voxaid does. Unfortunately, no is the answer to that.
Now, could I give you a suggestion in there? And I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question correctly and your product correctly, Michael. So forgive me if I'm not. Although I would say a person with a speech impairment, if it is a consistent speech impairment, they might be able to determine how they say something. And therefore, could you create...
therefore you could train the commands. Oh, yes, exactly. Absolutely, Doug. Thank you for that, Doug. Yeah.
So there's next week's to-do list for you.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Yes, yes. Thank you for that. Yeah, you're right.
All right.
Yeah.
And just one other question here from Shannon, and then we'll go to Wink. And just a reminder, if anybody has any other questions they prefer to put into the chat, please do so. Shannon has asked, how does the dictation work with the recording? I think this came in during the Glean demonstration. And further to that is there could be potentially two people talking, the person lecturing and the person dictating the commands. And how does that all work together, Michael?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And I would have said when sort of wanting to dictate and so forth, using the likes of Glean, I would recommend that was really in circumstances where someone is using a headset and listening in the headset. Therefore, what you're listening to, Dragon is not picking that up, because I could imagine that maybe there would be a conflict there, definitely. But that would be the same for Sonoscent, etc. So there's no way around that. I just think the best circumstance is have a headset on. You can be listening to everything through your headset as well as dictating at the same time, and there'll be no conflict.
So with that conflict, if you were in an in-person setting or somewhere where it might have that conflict might exist, a stenographer's mask for dictation might be something that we could introduce.
Yeah, that's worth.
Yeah, or I call them stenographers' masks, pilots' masks. It gives the visual in that. So. For like a one that fits tight across the mouth and is soundproof. And,
right.
It has the microphone built in. So.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. That's something I'd like to see what that's about, actually, Doug. Please. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Please.
Yeah, I know we don't use them too often in assistive technologies, only because it's not that it's not effective and not practical. It's just I think there's very few users that actually would be willing to sit in the back of a classroom or anywhere in a classroom and have a stenographer's mask on.
Right, I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, it does work. I know of some situations where it's been used. It's just I think there's a bit of a I guess peer pressure is maybe the easiest way to say that. That is the hold back on that. But
okay.
So off or over to you, Wink.
This is a quick question, only because I don't know the answer to it. Is the discount for the book or the discount for the software, or both?
The discounts for the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so if we went to Amazon, we could just enter that in, right?
No, the book. What I've given today is for the PDF accessible PDF version, with nothing I can do with Amazon. So it's for the PDF
I beg your
version.
pardon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So rather, I mean, personally, I like PDFs, and I just thought I'd share that as a means for people to have. Yeah.
I have a suggestion for the speaking at the same time as the professor. Well, it's disruptive to the classroom to have, I personally, as a professor, hate it when people speak over me.
Yeah.
But a solution to not wanting to wear or not being able to wear a soundproofing mask. I actually taught a student who had a severe form of cyclical MS, and sometimes she had a strong voice and sometimes her voice was extremely low, and so I trained her to create two different profiles.
Yes.
So we could train a student to have a whisper profile, which is not nearly as disruptive as when speaking out loud. And if you have a decent unidirectional mic that's up close to your mouth, you could actually speak in whisper form and have those commands work in Glean without being disruptive to other people.
Sure. Yeah. Now that is an idea, and yeah, you're absolutely right about the two profiles. It's funny actually, because when it comes to two profiles, the sort of thing that springs to mind for me is if you've got a cold. And your voice has totally changed or whatever, but you get colds often. So maybe it might be an idea just to have that second profile called cold.
or this is my sick voice.
Yeah, the same thing.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right. Thank you for that additional information there, Wink, and definitely, yeah, the two profiles. There's in a student's life, especially at the post-secondary level, there might be some other opportunities for a second profile, not just the sick profile and the whisper profile. But we'll leave that to the viewers' imaginations.
Yeah. Okay.
So, all right. So I'm not seeing any other questions or comments going into the chat. So just by all means, anybody who's has anything to add can certainly do that in there, and or still unmute the microphone. I know we have a few people left with us, and I appreciate everybody's holding on here for the end of this presentation. There's been so much information shared here, Michael. It's been incredible. There's no other way to put it. It's incredible, and going through the book and then exploring the Voxaid program itself, that is just that's another mountain that I think we all should eagerly climb here. But there's a mountain of information there, no questions. So,
excellent.
All right.
Thank you for that, Doug. An absolute pleasure to be here today. Thank you so much. That's great.
Yeah, so us as assistive technologists, you are an N.O.A.T trainer as well, Michael. So I don't think I have to tell you this, but just to put it out there is we're always adding to our toolboxes, options and more options are exactly what we're all about, so that we can be able to dig in and find that right option or mixture of options for the particular situation that we're dealing with. So what you've brought us today and what you are aiming to teach us and guide us through with the book, and potentially in the future, as we discussed earlier, is that information as well is just going to further assist each of us, so that we can customize things even beyond just what Voxaid can do, maybe being able to actually do it individually in the moment. As we've talked a little bit about custom commands. So there's all kinds of opportunity and options that you've given us here today. It's fantastic.
Great.
So you're part of our community of AT professionals, as well as you're a software developer and an author. Michael, I want to thank you for sharing today with us. There's just no question about it that your continued support of our profession and the accessibility community, the network of assistive technologists, everybody should be very grateful and appreciative of, as we are today, for the work you're doing here. We look forward to keeping the N.O.A.T community up to date as Voxaid continues to grow. You heard it from a few people here today. I will echo it very loudly that the software needs to be able to be distributed in the US and Canada yesterday instead of tomorrow. It needs to be an option. So I encourage you to continue working on that. And definitely, if there's developments in that area that you're able to share with us, please share so that we can put it out to our members. So keep us up to date as things continue to grow. And I sense there might be another book in your future, so please let us know about that as well.
Okay, no problem. I will do. There is.
All right.
Yeah,
so
fantastic.
Yeah. So again, thank you, Michael. Just before we do the absolute final wrap up here today, anything that you wanted to add in?
No, just to say thank you for having me today. It's been great. Brilliant. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for allowing us to share in your knowledge. And lastly, for everyone here today and those watching the replay, thank you for joining us. Remember, you can't spell education without AT.